Dennis Allen grew up in a suburb of Dallas, Texas, in a city called Hurst. It's where he found his love for football, and at a young age, knew this sport meant more to him than just Friday nights at LD Bell High School.
I wanted to be a coach from the time I was in 7th grade.
When you were recruiting him around that age, who was Dennis Allen?
He was probably kind of boring because he was mature beyond his years.
I would say Dennis was quiet, kind of a student, academic type.
Dennis was a lot more reserved, very matter-of-fact, pretty stone-faced guy.
You know, he's got like a quiet confidence about him. One of the things that definitely drew me to him is how close his family is.
Dennis and his wife Allison met in high school. Allison the cheerleader, Dennis the star athlete. And 26 years together in June, she says he's still the same guy she met back in 10th grade.
Grady Allen, Greg Brazina, Dwight.
Dennis picked up many of his traits from his parents, Grady and Kay Allen. Dennis's football background beginning with his father, Grady, who was a defensive end at Texas A&M, later joining the A&M Hall of Fame, and played 5 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons as a linebacker.
His dad was everything. He was everywhere. He never missed a practice, never missed a game. And I know when Dennis was younger, his dad coached all of his sports activities.
You could always tell Grady was so proud of his son and really talked about him in every conversation.
Dennis followed in his father's footsteps, heading south to College Station to play for the legendary and College Football Hall of Fame coach, R.C. Slocum.
You know, you want to be sure on a guy like that to follow up on it. And sure enough, he was an outstanding player. I can remember going in his home, but when you go in there, you have, it's some guy. He said, do I want to take this guy for the next 4 years, possibly 5 years, and be responsible for him? Sometimes there are guys, when you go in there right off the bat, you say, man, I want this guy. This guy will help us be better. And Dennis was one of those kind of guys.
Dennis knew at an early age that he wanted a future in coaching, and here at Texas A&M, it became clear, not just to R.C. Slocum's staff, but also his teammates, that he was destined for the headset.
I distinctly remember, you know, a route tree or there's some bust and him walking over to a guy and telling him, you know, hey, you should have done it this way. This was your read. This is where the breakdown occurred. So, you know, that's not normal, but that was normal with him. And I think it also shows you that the other players respected his knowledge of the game because they have to be willing to accept coaching.
Dennis's knowledge of the game and ability to read plays as they were happening paid off in a big way in 1993. The Aggies were hosting Texas to go to the Cotton Bowl, and Allen was still fighting to prove he deserved a starting role.
I vividly remember Shea Morin's rolling to the right and Dennis reading it, and I could see it. And I remember telling the guy beside me, I'm like, DA's going to pick this off.
We're getting near the end of the game, and we've got the lead, and they're driving on us all of a sudden, and they throw that pass, and then all of a sudden, and I actually think Aaron Glenn was one of the guys set to pick it off, and here comes Dennis Allen coming across, and he picks it off, and all of a sudden the game's over with, and everybody goes crazy. He was one of those guys that just, where did he come from? But, you know, somebody had to make a play.
Allen went on to start his final 2 seasons at Texas A&M, becoming a captain of the defense. And after a brief stint in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills, R.C. Slocum picked up the phone.
I told him, if that doesn't work out, come back here, we'll have a place for you. I never had any doubt that he had a bright future in coaching.
Come up here, I will go left foot, left shoulder.
There's a place to be patiently impatient. Be looking to grow. What can I do to do more? How can I learn this? But at the same time, this is who I am. I'm a video assistant. I'm a graduate assistant. This is what my role is. Dennis had that all. He had that down. And there are not as many people willing to put in the time and put in the hours and grow in a profession. Dennis Allen has earned every opportunity he's had.
Dennis started out as a graduate assistant on Slocum's staff, and from there, climbed the ladder from GA to secondary coach at Tulsa, and quickly jumped to the NFL, where he spent 10 years in multiple assistant roles before finally fulfilling his 7th grade dream of becoming a head coach, joining the Oakland Raiders in 2012. What was then a dream soon became a turning point in shaping him into the man he is today.
It hasn't been easy for the Raiders to start this season,
Dennis went 4-12 in his first season. And in his first year, his father Grady suddenly passed away.
We flew into Fort Worth. His dad was on, I believe, life support. The family had to make a decision. It was extremely, all of a sudden, unexpected, and it was just, just hit you out of the blue. 2
seasons later, Dennis was fired.
He's taken everything that has come his way and has grown from it. We always tell our kids, sometimes you try and you fail, and you try and you fail, and you try and you fail, and you keep trying really hard and you fail. And it's frustrating, and how you handle that failure, it defines your character, it defines how you move forward and how you're able to regroup. That's what I've seen him do from then to now.
Just as R.C. Slocum once picked up the phone, so did Sean Payton, asking Dennis to return to New Orleans once again as an assistant. Dennis, still the guy who never got too high or too low, returned to Airline Drive. And 7 years later, he's getting his second chance, taking the reins of the Saints organization. And hardly anyone close to him is surprised.
No, without hesitation. Knowing how he was raised and who his parents are and the support system that he has in place, his options are endless.
I think everyone that goes to the Raiders organization deserves a second chance. He's still young enough that we could still play, at least for a snap, but I think has a great body of work and experience. And I know that the novelty today is are these younger coaches, but there's something to be said for earning your way step by step. That's what makes, kind of puts you in a position to be an effective and successful head coach. So I'm not surprised at all.
If you want to understand Dennis Allen, you have to understand that Dennis Allen lives and breathes football. It's who he is. Saints fans will soon learn that come September, if they haven't already. Reporting in College Station, Brooke Kirchhoffer, Eyewitness News.